It's your girl Lisa Danae, and you are tuned into Lip Service with Lisa and Shareece. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday.
Absolutely.
Some kind of weeks. I'm trying to figure out what day it is.
Man, it seems like since the COVID, the days are flying by.
I
Like
know, right?
it just seems like it was just February or March when it just started. I would have
I
never guessed
know.
that come August, almost September, we would still be in Corona.
Right. I felt like it was just gonna last maybe a month or two, and
Right,
definitely by now we would be done.
right.
But we're still here. And if you're in the Houston and surrounding areas, we are looking at perhaps two hurricanes or tropical depressions or tropical storms, bad weather coming
Yes,
our way.
yes, yes.
So we got that on top of a pandemic. Now we got to worry about, will we have to evacuate? What's going on? What's happening? So keep us in your prayers. If you're not in our area, we probably will need your prayers. I read some things that said that the snow, I mean, not the snow, the rainfall might rival Harvey. Ooh, you know how bad Harvey was.
Yeah,
Harvy was
I
no
don't
joke.
think about that. That's like crazy.
Yes,
Harvey
that is
was my
insane.
actual first tornado storm. That was my first one experiencing it. So yeah, I was tripping out like this is crazy.
It was my first experience too, and I tell you what, I was like, I might have to go back home. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay in Texas.
I know I kept thinking, is this really going to oh that's not I, I kept thinking, is this rain gonna ever stop? Oh my gosh.
I know. You know what's crazy is that we've been in snow before. You from Chicago too. We've been in snow,
Yes.
but I've never seen that much water in my life. The water,
Never,
yeah,
never.
the water is way more scary than snow because we can kind of climb our way through the snow if it get too bad. But water, if it get too high, there ain't nothing you can do.
Right,
So
right, right.
So that part was a little scary, but hopefully we won't have to deal with anything like that this time around. That's the hope. That's the prayer. Everybody just
Right. So I'm over here
is
trying to
and be
transfer
prepared.
everything it started on my page.
Oh, be prepared. Hey, and our co-host is in the building,
Let's
Mr.
do
Darrin Baker.
it,
Hey, ladies, how you doing?
I'm well.
I
So
like that orange wall.
we're talking about this weather that we may perhaps be having. This so-called bad weather that we're going to be having, this Marco and Laura.
Is that what they've called it, Marco and Laura?
Yeah, one is Hurricane Laura or Tropical Storm Laura, and one is Marco.
Okay.
So we're going to see which one is going to come our way. Hopefully neither one. But
I'm
as of
not
right
claiming
now,
either one.
yes, as of right now, both of them are headed in our direction, so they say. So this is going to be a really interesting show. I'm so glad that the gangs are here because I've been looking forward to this one. Last week we talked about what men want.
Mm.
So this week we're going to talk about what women really want, and then Darrin is going to talk to us about some myths that men think about women, so we can just go on and tell them whether or not they right or not. So,
Mm.
Shareece, let's start with what do women really want in relationships?
Um, we want honesty, loyalty,
Yes.
the truth
Here we go. Here we
about
go.
the truth about things. Um, somebody that's gonna be in it for the long haul.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know, my list gonna be a little longer.
Mm.
Of what what women want. Of course, I'm gonna second all that. We want honesty, we want truth, somebody in it. But let me tell you something. We want masculinity.
Now I'm
There's
with you.
nothing wrong than I mean nothing worse than a feminine acting man. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Since I've been in Houston, I done met quite a few of what I consider BANs, and I'm sure I don't have to say it and say it out.
Wait a minute.
Y'all know what I mean when I say BAN.
BAN. Ban.
Bands. I met quite a few bands, and do we need to spell this out?
Yeah, for me, because I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right, so let me just gonna put it out there and say that this is gonna be a little bit of an explicit terminology. So if you are,
Don't worry, I got some
sensitive,
too.
if you're tuned in and your ears are sensitive, just go on and look the other way and don't worry about it. BAN stand for a bitch ass nigga.
Oh damn!
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I countered quite a few of those. Just saying. I've encountered that away. A few of those. When I was young, we used to call them bitch made. And the reason why we used to say that is because they act a little feminine, and I think what women really want is a masculine man. For me, I do not want a man that behaves like my girlfriend, because that's what I got girlfriends for. So I don't want a man that's all up into my friend's business. Yeah, what's your friend? What? Oh, she got another different man now. What happened to the last man? It's just different for me. I don't really want a man that want to know all that. You get what I'm saying, Shareece?
Absolutely.
It's some feminine tendencies that I ain't really comfortable with, and that's one of them. So I feel like, and ladies, if you're listening, chime in, let me know if you agree or not. I feel like we want a man to be masculine. We do not want all of these feminine tendencies from a mate or a partner. That's one thing. Another thing, we want somebody that's decisive. We already indecisive, so we can't have two people that's indecisive.
You are so right.
When you ask a woman where you want to go eat, what we say? Probably 5 or 6 different.
Where do you want to go?
Where do you want to go?
We don't know. So we want a man to be decisive. We do not want a man to be indecisive. That means that we both indecisive, and neither one of us don't know what we're trying to do.
Right.
So that's something I think women really want. Now, I think men get it twisted because we could be kind of forceful in our opinions sometimes. But at the end of the day, I think most women do want a leader. Do you agree, Shareece?
Absolutely. I definitely agree 100%. I want somebody that is going to lead and does not mind having his spouse by their side to accommodate. It's not like we have to follow. We can go together, but you definitely have to have one foot forward ahead of me.
Yes, have some leadership abilities, some leadership skills. Don't wait on me to make all the decisions. It's nothing.
Or the plan.
Or plans.
What's wrong with that? Everybody has their role. If you choose to have that particular role in the relationship, that's fine. I mean, he needs to have some qualities, but that doesn't need to be a main one. I mean, you talking about
no, I didn't say main.
Okay.
I just said, be able to plan things as well. Just like when you fall short on something, I may come through on it. I want to be able to have the same thing where if I fall short, I want you to be able to come in and follow through on it.
Right.
Well, see, I think you do need to be a main role because, by nature, we have a plan A, plan B, plan C. We usually got a million things going on. Well, I'm going to do this. If that don't work out, I'm going to do this. If that don't work out, I'm going to do this. So we can appear to be indecisive sometimes. I feel like that's why we need a man. I feel like that's why we need a man to be decisive and direct. Another thing that I really feel like women really want from a man: be consistent. Consistency. If you are coming into a relationship and you all lovey-dovey and kissy and okay, I'm gonna need you to stay that way. Well, I don't need you to wait until you get comfortable and then it ain't no more hugs and lovey-dovey and kissy. Consistency.
It works both ways.
That's true.
It works both ways.
What do women want?
That's fine, but I want to make sure my guys out there are being represented the correct way. When you say it works. When I say it works both ways. I don't want my guys to get beat up behind you ladies. I'm sticking up for the brothers that are not the BANs. Okay, we want all them brothers to stand up and do what's right.
Yes. I think another thing that women really want that men don't really think we want is we kind of sometimes we want to be handled. And what I mean by handled, for me, when I was dating this guy who let me run everything, I ran him. I ran the relationship. I ran him. I ran everything. And I had to say to him, why can't you just tell me to sit down somewhere sometimes? Why can't you just take the lead, take control sometimes? He's like, well, because you always running things. That's because you letting me run things. I feel like sometimes we want to be handled. Get us in our place sometimes. Now,
Yeah,
not
but
force.
what kind of guy was he for you to get with him? Was that a feature that you looked for that you overlooked, and all of a sudden you just became the lead person all the time, or was he always like that? But you said, okay, that's one of my questions. Is respect? Women want respect. I mean, not. I'm sorry. Let me say that again. What kind of guy was he when you first met him? You knew exactly right off when you first met him, you started having a conversation with him, if he was going to be a laid back kind of guy or was he going to be a forceful guy. But either way, you chose him.
Well,
So,
here's the thing. I don't think he was a laid back guy. I think he was kind of a leader. He was somewhat forceful, but I do have a little bit of a takeover spirit. So I can run things, I can come into a job and before I've been there 90 days, everybody think I'm the boss. I'm just bossy. But I think sometimes you gotta handle that. You can't let nobody boss you around all the time. And sometimes I'm saying now I'm gonna speak for myself personally. Sometimes I would like a man to be able to say, listen, you picked the place last time. Now I'm gonna pick the place. Now, if you get an attitude, you're gonna be all right. This is where we're going. Gonna sit down somewhere, fix your face.
now how many black women are going to actually do that?
Well,
Sit
yeah,
down.
I mean,
It's exactly what you just said. If me and Shareece was dating and she picked the place out last time and then I picked a spot that she didn't like, and I said, you'll be all right to sit your butt down and we going to this place. And how many women, how would you respond to something like that?
I ain't
I'm gonna
going.
be all right though. I'm gonna be all right with it.
Yeah, okay. Now see, I got one on the other side and one on this side.
I ain't going. I
And-
don't like
and-
this place.
Exactly. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to please the ladies or the women that we're with at that time. Now every woman is different.
Right, and I think too that it's all in the delivery.
It's
Yes.
true. It's
It's
true.
all in the delivery because if you like, boo, you picked the place last time. You know I really like Chinese, and I know you like sushi. So let's go somewhere where it might be all you can eat buffet, where we can both have our pick. Okay.
Buffet, Chinese food and sushi. Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, Mexican, Chinese. I don't know. You're right. I said that all wrong. You might
But I
want
get the
steak,
idea.
and she wants seafood.
I got you. I'm just messing with you. I got you.
I did say I didn't even catch that.
So the point is, it's not what you say, it's how you say
How
it.
you say it? It's in the delivery. Absolutely.
But then don't see. Here's my problem. This is the reason why I say sometimes the man gotta handle you. It's because they won't say nothing. They'll let you push them over. They'll let you run things. But little by little, there'll be a little animosity between the two of you. You'll find that he got an attitude and he, kind of not as nice as he used to be. And then when it all comes to a head, he'll say something like, well, because you always telling me what to do, you bossy, you. And why come you didn't deal with that at the moment? That's what I mean. Deal with it. Do not let a person run you. Sometimes you gotta handle me. That's all I'm saying. Get what I'm saying?
Oh, I know how to do. I take care of that. Even friends, I do that with. And I think Cherie can attest to that from time to time.
Yeah.
I think
Real quick.
I think another thing that women want from a man in relationships is stability. Stability. If
And consistent.
you all over the place and you from pillar to post, you from job to job, you from career to career. It's
Living
fine,
with your
but
cousin,
everybody try to
living
find it.
in your 60s.
But if what'd you say, Shareece?
You in your 50s and 60s living with your cousins.
Oh, good God. Yes. It ain't
You
never
got grown
happened.
kids.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
That part. That's the lack of stability. And so how are we gonna feel as a female getting with a man that's unstable? Because we feel like, are you looking to me for stability?
Right. And
Because I
then I
think,
don't understand the thing here in Houston. Men live in hotels.
oh,
But,
oh,
but now again, that goes to my first question. Why do you get with a guy, or once you find out that something that you don't like, you continue to stay with a guy or continue to talk to him? Is it because he drive a nice car? Is it because does he have a little money in his pocket? Does he present himself nice? And then all of a sudden you find out that was all a facade. He's renting a car. He stay in a hotel, and he just got paid, so he's fat that week, or as they say, the tax rich.
well, see, I think that's one of those myths that a lot of men think.
Yeah.
I think there is a segment of women that do like a man for their car and money and all that, but for the most part, I don't think a lot of women, and I can definitely say for myself, that don't really move me. It ain't my car, so I'm not excited about it. It ain't my money, so okay, great for you. It don't
But,
have my name on it, so I can't
but
see
some
why
but
anybody
some
would feel
women do
like,
think like that because that possibly could be their money. That possibly could be their car they're driving. Possibly.
mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna say this to answer your question. You said, why would you stay with a man when you find out? Because we genuinely like them. If you genuinely like somebody, you don't want to kick them to the curb just because you found out he live in a hotel. Now, me personally, I probably would, but I'm saying for the most part, a lot of women probably wouldn't because they genuinely like the person.
Hmm. Okay.
That's all I'm saying. So let me read a comment. I don't know why our comments are coming through, but I do see one from William. Hey, Will BK. He says, I think many women would rather have consistency than stability. Well, yeah, but we want both.
Right. And if you can get it from a woman, why can't you get it from a man?
Yes. Yes. I
Hmm.
think we want both. I want consistency and stability. I mean, okay, everybody, even in times like this, everything is kind of uncertain. A lot of people are topsy turvy. Jobs is uncertain, housing, and there's all kind of stuff going on. So I can see some rockiness in your life, but stability is not just for the time I met you. When you start dating somebody, you learn their history before you. So if you haven't kept an apartment for no longer than 6 months, that's a problem. Or even a house. I mean, that's a problem. There's something wrong there. Or
Not
every job
not
you
not
get,
always. Come on now. There's some guys that do have times that they go through a bad stretch in their life. They may not want to meet you, but they met you at that particular time in their life. Not that they're not on their way or aspiring to do more. It's just sometimes you catch them at a bad time. Just like like I said last week, guys will meet women anywhere we can. Women will only meet guys in certain places at certain times in their life. Because if you're 45 and up, you ain't trying to meet nobody at McDonald's. You ain't trying to
well,
meet You ain't trying to meet nobody at Walmart, at Kroger's. Guys are picking women out, and they be. I'm gonna say this: some women are exceptionally nice during those times, opposed to when they're at a bar or a club or at a friend's house or somewhere else. That's when you really see how they really dress, how they really carry themselves, and are they really true? No mind walking through with flip flops and hair rollers in their hair, going in to grab a loaf of bread or something. You happen to be on the same aisle. You cooking? Oh, what you cooking? Things like that.
well, see, I don't mind meeting a man in a grocery store. That's not a problem for me, or Walmart or whatever. I ain't trying to meet you in an unemployment office though. If
Well,
we
why would
both,
you be there? Why would you be there?
because if I'm unemployed and you unemployed, we don't need to talk to each other right now. Let's come back together when things is going a little better. That's the one place I may not want to meet you.
I get that one. I get
I
that
ain't
one.
trying to meet you in processing because you just got released. Nope, I ain't trying to meet you. It's a couple places I'm not trying to meet you.
Right.
But
I'm damn sure not trying to write no letters nowhere.
no, I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm
where
with
my
you.
consistency would be lacking. I ain't gonna be able to write no letters and be no pen pal.
Right.
But
Mm.
that's all I have for what women really want, because we really do want it all, just like y'all said last week. Y'all want it all. Now I want to hear about some of these myths, Darrin.
Well,
Myths that men think about women, so we can figure out whether it's real or not.
um, do why women? Why do you cheat on a good man? That's not really a myth, but these are kind of myths and things that we have questions about
Hey,
as well.
it should be turned around the other way, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll give you granted, most men are the ones that cheat, but there are a few women out there that do, dibble and dabble as well, and some of them do it better than others. So,
Let me read this comment before we answer from Will BK again. He said, I think we're living in more desperate times. So time to wait for doesn't really present itself more so. So we are more apt to talking what you got now. I think he said, oh, taking what you got now and take it from there. Okay, I think I understand what he's saying. So we're living in desperate times. So here's the thing. I'm not
What's
in
desperate?
I'm not in desperate I mean, I understand the situation. Some people living in desperate times. I'm gonna need you to get with me when your times ain't desperate.
Right.
I'm just saying for me. Listen, I know I've had some times when my times was desperate. And I ain't gonna even much lie.
but we
I
will meet you at
did.
that point, though. We'll meet you right where you are.
Absolutely. And I did have somebody to meet me where I was and got me out of my desperate times. And
And
then
whoa,
my
stop.
desperate times was
Where,
over.
where is he at now?
He gone because when my desperate times was over, I didn't have no use for him. I'm just keeping it real. So that's why I feel like people shouldn't put themselves in that position. Don't do that.
And I think sometimes when you're in a situation, I don't know for I can't speak for all women, but for myself, I don't even put myself out there until I get myself right. And
That's
then once I get myself right, I'm kind of more open to dating or talking to somebody or just meeting somebody, because if my stuff is not right and I'm not happy in my situation, I can't bring happy and joy to a relationship if I'm not right.
I think that's the mature thing to do, but and
Mm.
I would hope that in the future I would do that. But I'm not gonna lie, in the past I have definitely you know been in some desperate times and had some help in some desperate times. Shawana Wesley said, "That's me, Lisa. I think she's talking about being in desperate times. If you would, girl, join the club. Me too. You do what you gotta do. But I would say that that's probably not the best way to go. But I want to try to answer your question. You said, why do women cheat on a good man? So there are several reasons, and it really
Mhm.
depends on the woman. And I will say this: if a woman cheat, it's the relationship is over. I feel like sometimes men can cheat and they still in love and they just got caught up. But if a woman cheat, it's over. Like if it get to a point where a woman cheating, you lost her already. It's over.
Right.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, I think for a woman to cheat, she's really got to be pushed to that level, and by then she's emotionally detached.
Well, at that point, then why don't you say it's over then? Like you want us to be truth and tell you exactly you want the truth, you want a guy that's gonna tell you the truth. Why won't you want to do the same for us? If you feel that way at that point, why not say, listen here, Shareece, I know we had a good time. I'm just not feeling this relationship anymore. I want to go my separate way. Or let's file for divorce.
Well, sometimes you can do that and the person not trying to hear that. That happened to me in my first marriage. It took me 3 years to get a divorce because in the state that I was living in, both people had to agree to it, and he would not agree to it. So sometimes you just gotta move on, even though the
Well,
person don't want
I,
to move
I
on.
understand those circumstances and those things. I'm talking about we've been dating for 6 months to a year, whatever, and things are kind of at that particular point where we can go to the left, or we can go right, or we stay the course. You're feeling that relationship you've gotten all you possibly can get out of this young gentleman. Why not come and say, hey, I've enjoyed our time together. This just is not working for us, or for me, rather, I should say. Let's move on.
You want to answer that one, Shareece? Because I got an answer, but I don't want to sound bad. But I'm just
I mean, you want us to be that way with you all, but sometimes if you,
Well,
Well, and then you're generalizing it to make it seem like it's all women because
right, I'm sorry.
90% of the time, I'm in a friendship, relationship, whatever. I got a friend. I'll keep telling him, go find you somebody. Like, go find you somebody. He's like, no, I just want to kind of hang around. I'm like, no, you need to find somebody that's going to be for you. We can always be friends. I don't believe in breaking up with somebody that I've been intimate with and we've had a for real relationship for a nice little minute to just break up as enemies for what? We shared time together. So we should not have to be able to break up on bad terms.
Right. You should be
yeah,
grown
but
enough to be adult to be like that.
I think
Absolutely. And I'm going to wish you and the next person the best.
Right.
but when it comes to dating, I think that we have to acknowledge the fact that sometimes when it comes to cheating, I mean, sometimes he just ain't getting the job done. And you might love him. You know, I'm just saying, you might love him, but he just ain't doing what you need him to do. And you don't want to hurt him. You don't want to say, Jimmy Lee blow my back out, but I ain't really feeling Jimmy Lee. And so I'm gonna stay with you. You're
So,
not gonna say that. But
and this, we're getting a little bit off the subject, but I have a question in reference to that. If he's doing that but providing all the other check boxes or all the other boxes, you're willing to forego because he ain't blowing your back out for somebody that can blow your back out and not provide for you and give you the things that you want?
I'm not saying I'm willing to do it, but I'm saying that I'm saying in certain situations,
well, but
some women may
you
be
can't
willing
have
to
both.
do it.
If you can't have both, what side of the check box is that on for you? Is that something that you can live with and work with because he is taking care of you and giving you what you need? Or you'd rather have someone that can blow your back out and you'll say, baby, whew, I don't know how we're gonna make this week, this month's rent, but I got my half. You got your half?
But see, I'm gonna go on and answer that because that ain't an issue for me. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: life is too short for bad sex. So if he can't get the job done, bye-bye. This ain't gonna work. So
Okay.
I pay my bills. I'm gonna have to get another job. I don't care what I'm gonna have to do. I am not able to sustain a relationship where it ain't popping in that area. It just ain't for me.
So that's
Now,
number one. That would be number one in your top two.
and I love this comment. God said that He will provide. Okay.
Now, he was all God in really.
Okay.
Yes, so God shall provide my every need. So if it's provided by Jimmy Lee, I'm not going to question God. But I'm just saying that
Wow.
sometimes it might be a reason why women cheat. I mean, let's keep it real. When women cheat, it's usually for a real reason. Men cheat for lack of discipline. Do we agree on that at least?
Discipline for as in
What they
And
want.
he can't keep it in his pants.
Yeah.
Let me see. Shawana says, I'm sorry. I was agreeing with Shareece about not putting myself out there when I'm not in a good place. Oh, okay. In any capacity in life. And I definitely believe in being upfront with someone about not wanting to be in a relationship rather than waste their time or anyone else's.
Yeah.
And that's a real grown woman right there. That's a mature woman. And so, hats off to you all. I'm getting.
I'm not gonna say I don't want to be with you because the sex is bad. I'm just gonna say we just in two different places in our lives, and you need to find somebody that's gonna like you like them.
baby, but we here and I love you. I want to provide for you.
I understand, but I'm gonna need you to find somebody that likes you like them.
But see, I feel like, when it comes to intimacy, a lot of times people don't talk about these things until it gets to a point of cheating, because it's a touchy subject,
It
especially,
is.
and I think maybe that's one of the myths that women think about men. I think a lot of times as women, we don't want to really tell a man he ain't doing the job.
Right.
That's a hard conversation to have, especially if you care about the man. You don't want to just say,
So that leads into one of the, not gonna say it's a myth, but a question of us guys, and like I say, it's kind of half and half. Is why would you fake excitement during that time?
Okay, orgasm.
What you said it, there you go.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to answer that one because that's not for me. I don't fall in that category.
Well, there are some women that do that. And is it to Shareece, what's wrong with you over there?
Shareece, I'm gonna pass that one over to you. I mean,
I
like,
you can speak for all women, but y'all women talk though. Y'all women do talk. Just
You
like
don't want to hurt the person's feelings. And then if you try to guide them and be like, hey, that's not it. Hey, look to the left, further to the back, go up a little bit more. Don't be biting on that.
yeah.
And if they keep doing shit, you be like, dude, let's get this over with. I'm done.
But see,
oh,
I will stop it. I will stop it in the middle. Like I've been known to do it before, and I will do it. I will stop it. I'll say, look, this ain't it. This ain't it. I don't know what's happening with you or what's going on, but this right here ain't it. And so I'm not going to sit here and be frustrated. You know, I know exactly what to do to take care of me. So this ain't it. So, you know, if you can find a way to make this it, let's explore that. But if you can't, then we're going to need to just call it a day.
One more. I'll go ahead and answer that question. I'll let you answer the question.
Okay, so get it over with. But I feel like a man, fakes it to get it over with. But I feel like a man that's yours in sync with. Okay, he should be able to read his woman's body language.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good would, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but a lot of
no. She said that if you're in sync, he should be able to read your body language.
And that's the problem. That I agree with that too. But
that's just out for themselves.
That goes with what we said, what I said last time, and y'all wasn't following me on this. When I said a person that monopolizes the conversation is trash in the bed because they can't be in sync. They don't know how to be in sync with you, not even in conversation. So you know in the bed they're gonna be horrible. So that's what I was trying to say last time. But you had another question, Darrin?
Oh yeah. This was one of the things. Why is it, or not all women? Of course, I know the views of your giving does not constitute the
for everybody.
For everybody, basically. Why is there a dollar amount associated with spending time with you all? You know, if you got to go on so many. What's this 90-day rule? Or we got to go on so many dates before we can actually take it to the next level. Or you have to buy me this before we can go to the next level. Why is that? Or is that? Have you heard that? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you ladies heard a lot more stuff that I could probably ever answer or ask you a question about. But have you had that before? Or why is that?
I mean, I've heard it. I can't say why it is, except for the fact that a lot of women see sex or intimacy as something that's for the man. So they feel like that man got to earn that. So he gonna earn it before I give this to him. Again, it doesn't apply to me because to me, intimacy is for both of us. It's not just for you. So I'm not trying to make you earn anything. I want it to be an experience that we both enjoy. So I might be looking at you on the second date just like you looking at me. But for me, I need to know this is gonna be worth my time. But I really think that's why some women do it, because they look at sex as this is a gift I'm giving to him, and he gonna have to give me something first, or he gonna have to earn this experience because I'm letting my guard down and all that. What you think, Shareece?
Yeah, talk to me, Shareece. Let me hear what you got to say.
I think some people don't. They have some women have sex like men. They just hitting it and quitting it. And they figure, let me get something out of it, whether it be a couple dollars, a purse, or whatever the case. I have clients that come to me young and old, and they all have their reasons as to why they do what they do. And a lot of times with most men, they don't pretty much sugarcoat what they want. So they're going to already, within the first probably day or two of having a conversation, sex is going to come about.
Well, if that's the case, if it is a dollar amount, just tell us up front. Say, listen here, I need $1,000 before we can do anything next. And you might as well be a hooker then.
Well, I think
That's
you,
what I mean.
I think if you look at it like that, you're reducing it to that. Yeah, you making it like that. But I really do feel like the reason why some women do it is because men bring it up so early in the situation. You don't even know if you like the dude yet. And he already talking about, oh, and I get with you, I can do this. And it's like, first of all, I need to know if I even want you like that. Because just because there's a physical attraction don't mean I want to be intimate with you.
Right.
And men see it differently. So I think a
Right.
lot of times men know immediately they want it. But I mean, so you kind
Again,
of
Every kind of booty and breast they want it.
yeah, you kind of make a woman feel like, well, I don't want to leave empty-handed because if a situation pops off, and most women feel like a man just gonna get that and go on about his business because they present themselves like that's all they're interested in. If a man can't even get to know you as a person, but he want to know what you like in bed, it's like,
he
really,
Don't even know your last name.
first of all, he's coming
exactly.
at you wrong. First of all, he's coming at you wrong with those intents. Now we can be thinking those things, but we shouldn't be saying those things.
Yeah, tell it to them because
Most
they
of them just
don't
say
get
it.
it.
One more thing, I want to ask this question, and I don't know if it's really a myth, but if you really love someone and you want to be with them, can you teach them to please you?
If they open to it.
Oh, I know. I know the answer on this Lisa side. Hold on, Shareece. Let me hear her side because I know where she's going with this.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, to be all the way real and all the way honest, you can try. Sometimes I hate that I'm so open because I be telling my personal business. But I'm just gonna say this. I did have a relationship that ended because he wasn't hitting on nothing. I mean, he just did not have what it takes. I mean, it was like watching paint dry.
Wait,
I was just like,
nothing at all. I mean,
it wasn't it.
he doesn't get an A for effort. I mean, E for effort and nothing.
Nah. And so when I brought it to his attention, like this ain't working because of this, that was his thing. He said, why can't you teach me? I said, you need somebody young because I'm too old to feel like I need to teach you
I,
basics. I'm not teaching no
I'm
basics.
going to
Like,
direct and guide you because I want to be just as pleasured as you are out this whole scenario. So I'm like, hey, when you hear them crickets, you're going to know that's not it.
but why you gotta teach basic stuff? Now, if it's something like specific to me, yeah, you gotta tell a person what you need. But when it's just basics, I'm not trying to teach that. Like, I'm too old for that. I'm gonna need you to know the basics. That's just like somebody 50 years old coming to me talking about teach me how to ride the bike. Nah, fam, you gotta get somebody else. I don't have the patience for that. I'm too
I mean,
up in
I've
age.
dated guys that kiss and then they kiss and when they get finished, they leave saliva all over your mouth.
Or don't
I'm
even know
not into
how to
that.
kiss.
So we're gonna do is I'm gonna redirect you. You're gonna close your mouth, not
Mm-mm.
have it open as wide, and I'll just have to direct and tell them because look, I'm not gonna keep wiping all of that off my mouth, my face, and that's disgusting. I'm not doing it.
See, for
So I'm
me,
gonna tell them in that sense, like, look at here, or you won't get no kisses. How about
yeah,
that?
yeah. See, for me, that's a no-go. That lets me know we're not compatible. Because I'm not trying. That's what I mean by teaching the base. I ain't trying to teach you how to kiss. If you don't know by now,
Well,
I think
it's not that he doesn't know. It's just he doesn't come a woman that wants it a different way. It's not because just like you say, he's a bad kisser. What the other 10, 15 women he's been with, I'm sure within his 30, 40 years of dating, didn't have an issue or may have had an issue, but went along with it anyway because he can do other things.
Right.
and he's gonna have to go find another one of those because that's not gonna work for me. I'm not in the business of training. I'm not gonna do it. It ain't gonna work for me. Now, some younger woman, yes, perhaps. But for me, I don't feel like you can teach someone basic intimacy. There are certain things that's basic, especially when she gets past 45.
You say it's basic, but some guys may not experience and know what basic is. Their basic may be just a generic kiss, or instead of doing the tongue and then the sucking of the lips and anyway, all those things. But certain guys just they be peckers. They may not know how to extend the kiss or kiss while making love or do those things because they never done it in the past. It's not they don't know how. It's just that woman didn't require that at that time for them.
And that's fine. That's why I feel like it's somebody out there for them. It's somebody out there that will assist them in that. But however, it won't be me.
It's not you.
Okay.
No, not a-
I have a couple more here. I want to ask you: does the sex drive increase into the 40s, or does it peaks at 40 and does it increase at 40 and it's low at 25 and it gathers up at 30 and then it peaks at 40 and it goes beyond? Or everybody has a different answer. I'm sure Shareece and Miss Lisa, can you give me your insights on those, please?
Go ahead, Lisa.
Well, it does increase. I will say that it increases
Okay.
once you get past a certain age. For me as a young woman, it wasn't really it wasn't all that. I feel like it was normal, but I could take it or leave it as a young woman. But once I got past 45, yeah, it was off the charts. I mean, and that's a problem because your prospects is less. I mean, you got a higher sex drive and less prospects. So you're really sitting somewhere looking crazy.
Yeah.
But I will say that.
Oh, you're not okay.
It definitely goes up.
This here we was discussing with some of my other guys. We were wondering what is the key that unlocks it for you women. When you're talking to a woman and you've been talking to her for 6 months, or it could be 3 months, or it could be a year, or 2 years, or whatever. What is the word or one thing that guy does to you? Said, okay, I'm safe around him. I can fully let everything go.
I'm not gonna tell that because that's the main thing somebody listening gonna say.
No. But you know what? Just because you say it doesn't mean it's going to be true. I can say it all day long, but if it's not true, that's why I as a man, you should not brag about what you can do until you've actually done it to that particular person. Because what you do with one person may not work for the one that you with now.
So basically, are you saying what turns us on or what gets us to that point where you're ready to let your guard down?
Yes, exactly. What does he do? What does he say? Is it somewhere he takes you, or is it just something you've seen in one day said, okay, yeah, he's the one, or
I think it's different. I think it's different for every woman.
It is.
And it's different with every man. Because some men, I'm just gonna say this. With my second husband, he really didn't have to do nothing. I mean, I took one look at him and knew it was gonna go down. Somewhere, somehow, in some time, it was gonna go down. So I already had made up in my mind.
It's not about the sex now. It's not about sex. It's just about being free, being able to let your guard down and know that he's the one for you.
Oh,
because it's a deep question if you think about it. Because when you're talking to someone and you first get to know them, you got to find out more about them, and as you know more about them, you get a level of comfortability.
Right. And I was getting ready to say, I think a lot of times it's all in the conversation. Because if I can converse with you and I can tell you anything without you catching an attitude or feeling some kind of way, then I'm going to definitely feel comfortable enough to say whatever. And then if it's the way that you treat me, it's the way that you look at me, it could be anything. It could just be when you say things to me, the way you deliver it and the way you say it, I'm like, boy, yes, come on over here. This is my soulmate, Or you be like, this dude, he's so far from third and first base, it's ridiculous.
Well, Shawana says consistency, respect, trust, communication, and loyalty.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But I'm going to say for me, I don't know that it's ever the case. I don't know if I ever feel totally 100% that that's the person for me. It take a long time for me because,
it might, and everybody
might be the person for that time period in my life, but I never feel like you just it. You my soulmate. I don't know if I ever get to that point. I'm always, you're always on probation with me. I never feel like, yeah, you definitely the one. Because that's where the inconsistency come in. The minute you feel like, oh, this the one, that's when they start getting relaxed and then do the things they used to do.
Yeah, but how will you ever know if you? Now, I'm not saying in the first 6 months, a year. I'm talking about some time down the road. We're not talking about a quick fix and you get married in 6 months. And I'm talking about a lengthy relationship where you said, we've been dating for a while, and he's been consistent. He's checked all the boxes. He's been consistent. He's done the things that I've asked him to do. He's done things I didn't ask him to do that I liked. What did he do, or when did that point come for you? Said, okay, this is the one I feel. Of course, things can change. What did he do? What did he say? Did he take you somewhere? Did he do something special for you that had never been done for you before? That touched your heart? That says, "Hey, let's continue this."
Well, I think for me, it's when I know that the person knows me, because
Okay.
people get an idea of you. You know what I mean? They get an idea of who you are, and they don't really try to get to know you. But when a person really knows me, like the real me, and they'll say something like, okay, I'll give you an example. If a person in my family says, confronts me or says something crazy, and the man steps in and says, I know you don't like that, so I'm gonna go and handle that. Okay, that means you know me. You know me for sure.
Now
That
hold on.
that's a thing for me. When a person knows me, not your idea of me, but the real me, that's when I can say, this guy might be the one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You kind of get what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I didn't like the scenario what you had, but I understand your point. When you
But
talk
see,
about
that's because that works for me. It may not work for nobody else.
right,
That's why I say he had to know me.
he really would, and have to really respect whoever he's stepping to, because when you talk about family, that's a little bit different, a
But
different
see, that's
level.
why the person had to know me. They can't base it on nobody else, what
This
they
is true.
feel. That's the point. A lot of men, they'll get with women and they'll base their ideas on the last woman or the last women. But I need you to get to know me. And that's what it is for me. When a person knows me, because I think about things differently than other people do. And
Yes,
once
you
you
do.
learn me and you get to know me, oh, that's a goal, because I'm like, okay, this guy really knows me. He really knows me. For instance, I had a guy that I had been with for a year. We was in a really good relationship, but he never really got to know the fact that money and material things do not impress me. But that's what he would always do: buy me stuff, give me stuff. Now I would take the stuff. I'm getting
I
to
bet
it.
you would.
I would take the stuff. But at the same time, what I really wanted was time. I wanted the quality time with him, because
But why
that's
did you?
what I love him.
But did you tell him that?
I did over and over and over again.
He still want to do it his way.
He still want to do it his way because he didn't really know me. So you wasted a whole lot of money, because yeah, I took the gifts, but still ended up not being with him because you don't know me. So for me, that's what it is. Get to know me, the person that I am.
Okay. Okay. Guys, I know you're out there listening. If you'd like to chime in, I want to hear from my brothers also.
Well, I do got a comment from Will BK. He says, there anything wrong with being a relationship hoe? A relationship hoe is a person who just goes from relationship to relationship with anybody.
Wow.
Well, of course, there's something wrong with that.
You
I
didn't
mean,
like
but is he really in a relationship though? Is he keep
There's
going to
some
relationship?
holes in this house. There's some holes in this house. I
I'm
mean,
glad you said that. Based on that, do you like that? The WAP? I don't know if you. I'm sure you all know what the WAP stands for. So I want to make sure it's based on the song that I'm not going to give any props or any plugs, but what the WAP is.
I don't like the song personally.
Okay.
I don't even
Because
know
I
what
wouldn't, I
that
wouldn't dance to nothing that says there's some holes in this house. I ain't finna dance to that and be like, hey, hey. No.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm a little up in the age group where we kind of over that. We passed that stage. So no, I'm not with that.
It's not about dancing anyway. Okay. Um.
So he says a person that goes from relationship to relationship, and I think he said, yeah, with anybody. That sounds like a hobosexual, somebody that need a place to stay. They call a hobosexual. They need a place to stay, so they go from woman to woman.
homosexual.
Well,
Wow.
first of
Man
all,
to man.
what are their requirements for receiving that? I would say that certain women will take anything that come through the door. Some have standards. If you have no standards, I always say if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
But see, I think it's a difference between dating and relationships.
Are we
I
talking 6
think
months at a time or a year at a time? Or are we talking only 6 months and then I'm out? A year and I'm out. Is that what he's referring to? I mean, you have to give me a little bit more information about that.
I think that might be what he's referring to, but at the same time, I think a person do have to examine themselves at that point. Like, what is going wrong to where you're having all these short-term relationships, 3 or 4, 5 or 6 in 1 year? That's kind of a lot.
It may not be.
Well, I would think somebody would want to examine that and figure out, what's going wrong. Am I picking the wrong type of people?
You're not gonna find the right guy at the gate anyway. You got to go through different guys anyway. You're not gonna find the dreamboat walk outside and say, "Okay, I want him. He's the right one." No, you got to go through some frogs before you get to your prince. No different than us guys going through some women before we find our queen.
Yeah,
You know,
but I do believe that sometimes we stay too long. When you see a red flag at the beginning, and
Mhm.
I talked about this on one of my other shows, sometimes it's a point of pride when you done told everybody, well, I got this man and he good and blah, blah, blah. You find out 3 weeks in, he ain't that good. But you don't want to really let it go because you're scared of how it's gonna look. Because people will tell, oh, y'all ain't together. Oh,
that's
y'all just
pride.
met.
That's
Y'all done broke up already. And sometimes that keeps people into doing stuff like that. It looks like they're going from relationship to relationship because the last one didn't work out.
true.
But I don't know, Will BK. I think that a lot of times people should not even be in your business. Folks should know how many relationships you in. That's why I don't like social media. Soon as people get in a relationship, they posting up and posting up the person and posting up. I mean, for me, I was married a whole year before people knew I was married because it wasn't nobody's business. And I wanted to keep it that way. So I don't know. I think that people who do that are looking for something, obviously. They're going
Of
from
course.
relationship to relationship.
Of course. Of course. And
Yeah.
sometimes, like y'all have to build a man, we have to sometimes build a woman.
Well, what do you mean by build a woman?
What no different than the qualifications are the same. You want a guy that can talk to you, or I'm gonna refer to Mr. Harvey because he gave a great answer to this. He says, you want a guy, you want a mandingo, you want somebody you can go shopping with, have a good time with, you want somebody you can tell all your business to. Those
Mhm.
are those are things. If you can't find one guy and you want a guy that can fix everything around the house, he may be ugly as all get out, but if he got a skill set that you need, he's fulfilling a particular part of a man that you need in your life at that time.
But see, again, that's why you have to get to know the woman because every woman ain't like that. First of all, I don't want somebody that I can tell all my business to. That's why I got girlfriends. I don't want my man to be my girlfriend. I
I
don't even
understand.
want him in all that because
But
that's when
sometimes,
you back to them
sometimes
BS.
if you trust him, you can tell him those things. Not
I
that
don't
he's
need him
gonna.
to know all that. I don't need him to know all that because there's some things that you just talk with your women friend about,
It's
and some
true.
things you talk to your man. Just like men, you're not going to tell your woman everything that you're going through, and sometimes you need to talk to another man. It's the same with women. And in addition to that, I don't need him to have this particular skill set. If he don't have it, I hire somebody. We can hire a plumber. We can hire a mechanic. You ain't got to be able to fix everything
Well,
because I
because
think
you
that
can
that's what
afford
you're
that.
being unrealistic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You want a man to cook, you want a mandingo, you want him to be your best friend, you want him to fix things around the house, and you want him to be rich, and you want him to be fine. Okay, that's just being unrealistic.
Really?
To me, it is. Because
Okay.
to me, I mean, sometimes fine is all it takes. Fine, we can work on the other stuff
Mm.
for me.
So you really work on certain things, but for as trying to please you or teach him how to kiss is out the question.
Oh no, intimacy? No, 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 no.
Oh,
That's a deal breaker.
oh, okay.
That's a deal breaker. Okay, next. Anything else you got for us, Darrin? What other questions
Um,
do you have?
I had a few more, but they're a little out there. I talked about that, feeling safe about those questions. Um, tongue piercings. Does that make you? Certain women have tongue piercings. And does that make? I'm sure you talk to other women that have those things. Does it do something for them? Is it an erotic thing, or is it something they just want to get done, or is it make them freakier or not freakiest, or what?
I
Tongue
don't.
piercings?
Piercings, yeah, whether it be nipple piercings, tongue piercings, or some people's into piercings and they have other parts of their body done as well. I mean, I don't know nobody like that.
See, I don't know because I only got my ears pierced, so I can't speak to that. Shareece, maybe you could.
You talk
I
to other
think
people.
men having chest piercings, I think that is super sexy. Um, I think that's super sexy. I've dated guys that have had tongue piercings, and it don't do nothing. Just make their damn mouth stink.
I don't
Like
understand it.
you licking on a penny or something. I think it's the metal in their mouth, just like when they got gold teeth. Yeah, it just makes they breath, they mouth. Yeah, it's not. It's
Make
not
their
good.
mouth look tart.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
we are coming to the end of our time.
That first
So
hour went by fast.
yes, that
You
first hour went by
did. Think about
very
it.
fast.
You did.
Do we have any other questions? Real
Not
quick.
right now. No, I've asked kind of questions, and you kind of answered a lot of them along through the process. Hopefully, my guys are out there listening, and they're willing to chime in as well. Because, of course, I can't speak for everyone, but there are some questions I'm sure you guys would like to know about these young ladies, and hopefully, they can answer the questions that we've presented to them, and they will answer them the best of their knowledge.
Okay, so before we go, I do want to share this with everybody. I want to share it with you guys and get y'all's feedback on it. And I also want to share it with our audience. This is a first date question. So, can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Something to ask on a first date. Can you see it good? A first date
Yeah.
question.
How?
So, how aware are you of your traumas and suppressed emotions, and how are you actively working to heal them before you try to project that shit on me?
Mm.
Mm.
There's some. Um,
How aware you are your trauma of your traumas and your past and suppressed emotions, and how are you working to heal them? Are you aware of any traumas in your past, Darrin?
I'm aware of them. Most definitely aware of them. Of course, for me, I try to suppress them until there's a timing for bringing those things up. First date is not the time because why would you want to tell everybody the first thing out the gate of you know
Things.
all the bad things about you when you want them to know the good about you? Then they know who you are as a person, and once they know you as a person, they may be able to accept some of those things going down the line. Once you start to leak a little bit, as I say, change the oil a little bit, just let that oil leak out just a little bit, every little bit before you know it. That's how I would do it.
Hey, Letisa B, she says that's a deep question for a first date.
It
See, I
is.
don't think you should tell the traumas, but the question is, are you aware? How aware are you of your traumas? And then how are you actively working to heal them? That's a really good question because you find that a lot of people are dealing with unresolved trauma, and they will project their issues upon you, you
Thinking you
know.
have a solution.
Say that again.
Thinking you have a solution.
Yes, agree with Darrin. I would run away if that question was asked of me. Ooh, Leticia said she would run away if that question was asked of her. Well, I think it's a good question. How aware of you of your traumas? I mean, to me, are you working to heal them? Maybe not for the first date. Maybe that's too deep for a first date. But I
Right.
think at some point you need to know if that person is aware of their traumas and their emotions that they're suppressing, especially men, because men tend to suppress emotions, I
We do.
think, more than women.
We
And
do.
so it's definitely something you want to know. You don't want it to come out in an argument and they start arguing with you and talking about stuff you did and they really talk about their mama.
Or they have daddy issues. They need a daddy.
Certainly can't be their daddy. Don't even want to be their mama. But you do want to know about those things. Yes, I agree. Maybe not for a first date, but at some point we
So
need to
so
talk about that.
so on the tail end of that question, I don't mind it being asked, but for us answering the question, I can just pose a question, say, Cherie or Lisa, are you aware of your traumas and or what's going on with you as a person before we can proceed and go on with this conversation or go on with a conversation? I don't have a problem with it so much as asking the question as opposed to answering the question.
Well, see, me personally, I can answer that question. I will be able to answer it. I'm very aware of my past traumas and suppressed emotions. and I'm actively working on it because I try not to suppress my emotions at all. So I will be able to answer that question.
So how do you actively work on it?
Well, you once you're aware of it, you have to actively. So for me, I will say one of my traumas is being abandoned as a child. So when I was younger, I had abandonment issues. And so actively working on that is understanding that everybody is everything a person does is not personal. And that's how I would actively work on it. If a man says, if I have an event and he say, I can't go with you this time, young me would feel abandoned. Well, why can't you go? Older me that's actively working on my healing understands he can't go this time. It's nothing personal. He's not abandoning you. He just is unable to go this time. That's actively working on it, realizing that you have the issue and knowing how you got to see it differently in order to change it. That's the only way you can be actively working on it, to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Just like you say, people with daddy issues and mommy issues that were never able to please their mothers, couldn't get acceptance. And so they try to get it from you. And then you just say one thing and they feel like, you don't never like nothing I do. And you're trying to figure out, what do you mean, never? This is the first time I had an issue with it. That lets you know they got some traumas in their past they haven't dealt with. And so, I mean, I don't know how to help anybody else do it. I just know how I could do it. Leticia said, I can answer it as well, but everybody doesn't deserve to hear my story, to hear your story.
True. At least not right now. At least not on the first date.
Definitely not on the first, second, or third date, your whole life story. I
True.
think you have to do that once you know a person is for you and committed to you. Well, I think that's probably a good point to take a break. Will you all agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.